I turned everything off. My phone, no music, no fan. And I sat down and waited for silence. But silence never came. There was a car driving by. I could hear the birds sing. My neighbor apparently is installing something in his wall. And I could hear my own breathing. It was really loud. And I started to wonder, have I ever really been in silence? And then I remembered. One day, many years ago, I was traveling in New Zealand and I was hiking up to see Lake Tekapo. It's a beautiful turquoise lake. And so I went up there by myself and I was sitting there. It was a beautiful sunny day. The wind was blowing just a tiny little bit. And I was sitting there. I could see Lake Tekapo in turquoise on my right side and another blue lake on the left side. It was really beautiful. And suddenly I heard this noise. It was like humming. And I was wondering, I was looking up and looking for an airplane. It sounded like a little tiny, one of those aircrafts, or maybe even a helicopter. I was like, what is this? I'm not seeing anything. And it turns out it was a bee. So up there was so little sound that a bee sounded almost like an airplane or a helicopter. And once that bee went by, it was really silent. But the curious thing was, I always thought that silence was the complete absence of sounds, and that's not what it was. I cannot really describe what silence sounds like, but it does have a sound in my experience. Maybe if you have experienced it, you have words to describe it. I don't really have words for it, but it was amazing. It was really amazing. The thing is, how do I recreate this in my everyday living? I try to remove as many layers as possible to see what kind of level of silence I can achieve. So I can turn off everything I can turn off. My phone, music, fan, machines, my fridge, anything that makes a hum, anything that makes a noise. I can do this exercise when my neighbor's sleeping, so he won't be hammering on the wall. And at night maybe there's fewer cars, at least where I live. And yes, maybe that means hearing my own breathing. Plus the birds. Can't stop the birds. So 2 things. If you've ever experienced that level of silence and have words to describe it, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please let me know. And I would like to invite you to find 5 minutes today and just sit down, maybe close your eyes, and see how many layers your silence has. What sounds does your body make? What sounds does nature make? The birds. Maybe if you're living in a rural area, you might hear donkeys or horses or chickens. If you live in a city, how many people are talking outside? Anybody yelling, fighting, cars driving by? Maybe there's sirens. And then inside your house, is there anything making any noise? And just try to sit with it. And see what that silence that you can achieve actually feels like. And follow for more if this landed.